Today's horoscope and tarot reading from Astrocademy, Virgo March 14, 2022. Passions and ambitions intensify today, with Mars and Venus meeting Pluto in your sector of joy. Fortunately, these alignments occur in harmony with your sign, inclining you to make the most of it. You can become very single-minded now, and if you channel this well, you can move mountains. You may experience a strong desire to gain more control over your life, and you're ready to go out on a limb to do so. The day holds great potential for insight and enjoyment. You're exceptionally close to your desires, wants, and needs, which can be disconcerting at first, but enlightening. Acknowledging more deeply buried desires or ambitions is empowering, and it can be a positive turning point. It's also an excellent time for attracting the right resources to you and expressing your ideas or asserting yourself in persuasive, charming ways. Create something from the heart for the best results now. Do they make your heart skip a beat? Single or already in love with your person, there's no denying the magic of today's hauntingly seductive astro weather. Mind you, this is especially true for you, as the moon will continue to illuminate your committed 7th house of significant others and one-on-one connections, which automatically adds a layer of compassion and serendipity to your relationships. And as if this weren't swoon-worthy enough, Venus will be joining forces with smoldering Pluto in Capricorn via your romantic 5th house of love, passion, and pleasure. Need I say more? Your BPM matches the butterflies in your stomach. Indulge without obsessing. How can you go about your paraprofessional obligations with grace? As of today, the moon leaves Aquarius for your opposite sign, which intuitively draws you to your commitments and relationships. You may be daydreaming of wonderful people to work with, playing with all the alternative ways a commitment could work out and what it could produce. As you visualize the potential outcomes of your working relationships and agreements, try to maintain a positive yet realistic perspective. You do not want to accidentally feed into the shadow attributes of the moon like confusion and delusion. The moon returns for its ordinary monthly visit to your financial sector to find a new sense of anticipation in the air. As your financial instincts and imagination kick in, there will be a hint of change in the air, with this last visit before the sun's return picking up on the fact that there is already movement. Especially when it comes to feeling motivated. You're waving off annoying people like houseflies today, but be careful where you swing that swatter. The fly you squash might have been your next pal. Try to distinguish between what's merely buzzing and what actually bites. Things may feel a bit uneasy today, and you are right to listen to yourself at the cost of seeming indifferent to others. There is no better way to protect yourself than to stay true to what you know is right for you. Giving in to the pressure of the outside world can often lead you to unhappiness. Try to enjoy the security of your own privacy, but be careful not to shut yourself in completely. Getting in some soothing yoga is highly recommended. Be sure that you create the type of environment you enjoy the most. The essence of this day can give your sense of color and design a real boost, so why not take advantage of this? Whether it's your workspace or home environment, applying the day's creative energy toward enhancing the spaces you spend so much time in can really help. It can give you a feeling of the new and refreshed, and this will bring more energy to you every day. Give it a try. At the same time that the sun moves into his final 7 days in your relationship sector, you are also just days away from a full moon in Virgo that will put a balance between your personal and relationship needs to the test. This is something that will always happen at this time of year and is key to understanding what you want from your relationships and what they need from you. In between now and then, an abundance of support from the communication gods is giving you a chance to get the communication lines open. As the sun moves into his final 7 days in your relationship sector, there are some hurdles to cross, but at a time when you are fully resourced. It is a full moon that will see the moon clash with the sun, putting a balance between your personal and relationship needs to the test, but not for another 4 days. Until then, there is time to work with Mercury, the planet of communication, to get the communication lines open. Your tarot reading for today. Temperance, the Emperor and the Moon. The cards highlight a project that is very important to you, something you have been thinking about for a long time, but that seems difficult to achieve. In your draw, you have the resources to embark on this adventure. You are a thoughtful, realistic, and independent person, and these are essential qualities for carrying out this project. The cards highlight the obstacles that prevent you from going after what you want. They are primarily social constraints. It is difficult for you to manage everything at once. Some people rely on you, and you have moral and personal obligations. One way and another, all these responsibilities prevent you from concentrating fully on this project, which is nonetheless very important to you. Recently, you seem to feel a certain weariness in your personal life. In your external environment, things tend to repeat themselves endlessly. You sometimes find this routine difficult to bear, and you need a change of scenery. The cards highlight this desire for renewal and evoke new opportunities in your life. This change could take place in March 2022 when you meet a person who could change things in your life and bring something new to your personal circumstances. You'll get to know this man through a friend, and he could soon play a larger role in your life. In his company, and that of your friend, you could try new activities and explore new horizons. The cards particularly evoke trips that could give you a different perspective on the world and fill that need for novelty you are feeling at the moment. Your draw announces a period of opportunity, change, and discovery that marks a break with your current situation. By listening to the lesson of this draw, you could achieve great progress on the personal and emotional levels. Our eyes in the sky. Perspective is everything here. So you'd better be clear about what you feel when you feel it, because the next few weeks are going to be all-encompassing when it comes to romance. Slow your roll before making any moves. You don't have to win a race. Love is about building connections and knowing the person on a soul level. Also, Mercury and the nodes of destiny square off, which can give you a push to spread your wings and fly, but only if you are on the right track and prepared to do so. You'll be feeling sociable, and communication will be very open. Being this in touch with how you feel while also being able to convey it exactly the way you like is a blessing. Misperception is very likely at this time, so be careful not to react too seriously to anything, and be aware that you might be more sensitive than usual. You're sure to at least be resourceful enough to come up with some problem-solving ideas. Time limitations could give you a reality check, but you could be too motivated by possible success to think much about it. The heart wants what the heart wants, and it might now seem that what our heart wants has been denied to us. Perhaps this is a matter of unrequited feelings. Perhaps our needs have failed to be met. Perhaps we are simply uncomfortable airing romantic or gushy sentiments. We would love for things to be simple, but the extent of a circumstance's complexity makes for moodiness. We may also act a bit desperate, convinced that hearts can be changed if we simply dig in our heels and refuse to acknowledge another's interest or lack thereof. We must determine whether we are potentially hurting ourselves in our unwillingness to accept anything other than a simple answer.